this is my mess now. Needy left to ride his bike where the sun is shining for 2.5 months. And I'm left here to finish this. That's fair, right? Before he left, we prepared all the giant wall paneling. We didn't manage to put it up because I messed up the most important one and had to do it again, and the paint didn't cure in time. So that's my problem. Otherwise, this is gonna be a fun project. And I'm gonna be glad if you cheer along for me. Let's do this. The starting point for me is this wall. This is the second and hopefully the last pack of sheep wool we'll be using. I added some furring strips which I needed for this panel to the van, and now it's time to go and try this one to attach it. And this is not the biggest wall panel. I'm really curious how slow I'm gonna be. Or quick. With the build, I mean. This took half a day and it was prepared. But it's a giant sheet. And I can continue with 2 more in the back. Maybe you're wondering why this wall looks so hideous, and the reason is this wall is supposed to be covered with an acoustic panel, so nothing here is going to be visible in the final product, and that's why it's also a great place for me to start today, because I can gain some confidence here. Something we had trouble figuring out when we were building our first van. All of our wall panels did this because we didn't have furring strips under the seams. It was kind of a problem and it looked horrible, but here it doesn't matter, as I said. And this is my first hideous wall. The next step, and biggest piece of wood I think in here, is this lower wall. It goes from the front back to the electrical system. It needs holes for electric outlets and it needs some roaring, which is a design decision based also on our previous van, and also practical one because you don't want a white wall near to the ground where the dog is gonna be lying, and so the manipulation with this is gonna be fun, I guess. I measured the first outlet, it's gonna sit here, but first I need to route those lines before I drill the holes for the outlets. I'm kind of nervous. I hope I measured it right. I think I did, but you never know. It's a giant desk. I don't want to do this again. It would be too expensive. In this bit it's gonna be much more sanding because we are going across the fibers in the wood. On the ceiling we went with the fibers, so it was much cleaner than this. Now I'm gonna have to sand all this fur. As I progressed to the stuff that is gonna be visible, it's just a bunch of stressful situations. Now to make hole for this, which is a really tiny lip, I have to make 2 circles and then connect them with a jigsaw. But the lip is so tiny, it's really stressful. Like, I don't know if it's gonna fit. I hope so. I tried it, but still stressful situation. That's all. Slightly bigger, I don't know why, but it's gonna work. Now I have to measure 12-volt outlet somewhere here. Nita bought a solid bunch of 12-volt outlets in a search of a single one that has no control light, and all of them have blue lights, or some have red, but it's very rare. I have no idea why this is. It's pretty annoying because, I don't know, I'm not curious about having multiple sources of blue lights around here. We have at least this one that has a switch so we can turn the light off, but it's a pretty ugly one. This otherwise looks pretty okay, and it also looks like it has no light, but it has a little blue dot somewhere here. I don't know, is it hard to make a nice USB outlet? I don't think so. If they can make a bunch of ugly ones, why can't make one good one? Why is that? Stop putting blue lights everywhere, people. It's a problem in the phone boxes, in the living room, in the kitchen galley. We want USB outlets everywhere, and that means we have to have everywhere blue dots. We also tried this version with those inserts. Also, most of them have blue lights in. And on top they shaken it and the connection is weak. So it's not charging most of the time. If you find some pretty ones without light, let us know where, because it's impossible to find good ones. So I will go with this one. Last panel that we prepared before Nita left is this panel around the window. It's the last one that's annoying me here because I have to move it around all the time not to destroy it. So I'm gonna deal with this one because the big one is still drying. Me and my mammoth are ready. I think windows are one of the hardest parts to find the right approach to them. If it was only me, I would probably just keep the bare metal around and don't do anything special about it. But Nita doesn't like that because of condensation and moisture, and it will be very uncomfortable in the summer, in the winter, because you put hands here. But it's not easy to come up with some elegant solution which is manageable to do with our limited knowledge. Okay, no time to waste. Here goes nothing. Nope. Of course, it's not enough glue here. Well, that's that. The frame is copying the rubber around the window all the way, and that has the reason that if the window needs to be replaced, if it cracks or something, it should be still doable. I didn't want to make it wider or something because it would cause problems in this situation. It's just a wooden frame around the window, and it provides some insulation in case we put a hand here. On the rest, we don't touch the bare metal, so it's not hot or cold in the summer and the winter. Making of this wooden frame was quite funny because we didn't throw away the metal piece we cut out for the window, even though we installed the window like a year and a half ago or 2 years maybe. So we just took the metal plate and used it as a template for this board. And now I have to figure out how to connect these cables to this electric outlet. I know nothing about electrics, and so I'm gonna attend Need's electrician program remotely over phone.
There.
Say hi to the camera!
There.
Co teď?
A teď teda ty koncovky, ty jsou asi spíš v tom druhém balení.
Je tohle nebo tohle?
To druhý, to první,
Tohle, to s tou dírou.
Jo. Tady ty kleště vnímají na sobě dvě věci.
Tady.
Jo, tím se to zkrátí.
Aha, tohle.
Tam prostě ten kabel, zmáčkneš a ono to mělo asi očistit.
Jestli mě to nezabije, přemýšlíš?
Jo, jestli to vlastně pod proudem, ale plně by nemělo. Jako trošku za to začistit, zaplať, no a zkus to tam nandat, no.
Takhle.
Jo, to vypadá dobře. A teď to tam musíš silně zmáčknout, no. A oběma rukama. Až úplně do konce. Ještě, nechce.
Ty jsi na konci.
No, půjď. Jo, super.
Takže hnědé je plus a modré je minus.
Tak to je jako asi všechno, no.
OK. First problem, the nut of the outlet is too big for this hole, or the hole is too small for the nut. Neither way, it doesn't fit, and I think I have to make this hole bigger. So I have to disconnect it all. I really hate doing this, but I see no other option here. This mishap also brings an opportunity because I forgot we wanted to add a layer of the wool because there's a really big gap between those desks and the wall panel. Here it is. Installing giant wall panel. Take 2. It's alive. This help? No, it's tight. Lunch break. I think the next right move is to make the handrest below the window, and that is going to be from this bamboo desk. I'm really afraid to start cutting into it, but there's a theme here, right? Afraid to do things but doing them anyway. Before I do this, I want to say I measured super carefully, like a million times, checked everything twice, and I don't want to do this. This needs electricity. Here it is. It's cute. It's not the worst. It's not perfect. It just needs a tiny adjustment. I'll be back shortly. Ooh, that's better. Today marks 2 weeks until I fly south to join Nide on one round of the cycling camps. And I'd be glad if by then I have all this area done. It means this window area, the shade, and here are some covers for the shade, this upper area, hopefully also the upper head cabinets, but I don't think so. The most important thing is this seat, and I'd love to have this done by then. I think it's tight but manageable, and the upright cabinets are not happening, I think. But who knows? Maybe I'll be super fast. But today I'm done. It was quite a stressful day with all those visible things and cutting the bamboo, and I have still 2 hours on the bike to do. So I'll call it a day. This is the second drill that broke down during this build. And this one is under warranty. The first wasn't. Blowing on it didn't help, shaking with it didn't help, hitting it didn't help. It's really broken. So drilling activities are postponed, I guess, until a new one arrives. So let's do something different for a change. I've decided to make this upper wall panel as long as I can drill. I did the template and now I have to find where those bolts are. Measuring is somehow not working, so I am using this tactic. Ta-da! That should be accurate. And now I'll wait for the drill to finish this.
Máš si banán?
Ne?
Ne?
Dám si vrtačku. Tak správně, jestli bude fungovat. It was the fastest order in the world. I was kind of lucky because in Lidl they are on sale right now. So my dad hopped to Lidl on his way from work. And here it is. It's been like 4 hours since the previous one broke. And here is a new one. My marking method worked perfectly. They are okay. And now back to the unfinished business, which was installing this window shade. According to the instructions, it should be a few minutes event. So let's see. I measured once, I measured twice, I measured thrice. This was the easier part. Now here. This is the best I can do. Just note that. I'm going to try it. If it won't work, I'm leaving it for tomorrow. Jsem se lekla, když přijde dveřmama.
Co stojí takováhle sranda? 12.
Nic takovýho, no. Pak se může stáhnout i do hora.
Aha.
Ale funguje to dobrý.
I think a lot of people haven't been on a date by 23. I hadn't. No. I only had because I was on.
It's 7 hours later and I'm kind of where I started today. The only thing I have made is this. All day I was figuring out how to approach this area here. It's kind of complicated area and I really didn't know what to do with it. Now I think I have it figured out. But it took all day. This thing is going to go like this. On top of it is going to be this original railing for the shade. And when I add the top wall panel, this whole area looks really hideous. But this all should be hidden. So no one is gonna be able to tell. Except you. But you won't tell anyone, right? Super nakřivo. As I'm waiting for one more thing to arrive before I jump into the seat making, I started thinking about this dreaded corner. It's one of those things that's basically connected to all the rest of the space, so it requires a ton of thinking. Here I have to connect the rail for the shadow. Here are gonna be connected uprights above me, and somewhere here needs to be a door to this cabinet. And I also want to keep this seatbelt system available in case it breaks. So it's really a lot of stuff going on here. Oh, and also coming up with this line so it looks straight. In the end I realized it has to be curved to look straight. That's how it goes here. This is the second fit. I think it's the best I can do. If I'd adjust it more, it would be worse. But I'll try to straighten this line. It's very curvy, not pretty. Here's gonna be the upright cabinet, so this gap is not gonna be visible. And this gap, I can't do anything about it now. This is the beginning of building our bench seat. I have the right angle for the bench, which we copied from a bench that felt comfortable enough for us. And this is how it looks like. How I will build it, I have no idea. There are two requirements for this project. It has to be safe, strong enough, and it has to be as comfortable as possible. Should be easy, right? Okay, here's some progress visible from the paper version. I'm moving very slowly with it because most of the time I have no idea what I'm doing, and that also makes the filming harder. So I'm showing you this not even midway of the build. The pace will drop even more now because I've reached that point when I'll be making corners, and of course I'm not going the easiest way possible, and I'm making round corners. This is the most critical corner because it's a walkway, so this one is going to be round for sure. Another critical one is this one because this is in a shoulder height, and this is going to be a very narrow aisle because a kitchen galley is going to be on my right hand. So I'm making this one round too. I don't know how, but I'm doing it. To make it even more complicated, I've decided to make two drawers in this half to be part of Nita's closet, and this half with the rounded corner. I'm not doing a drawer here. I'm not that crazy. So this is gonna be with the opening lid. And here also needs to be a way how to move the seat belts forward. Moving on. I have no idea how I'm supposed to do a round corner, but this is how I'm gonna do it. Okay, today I have started to make the bench, but I messed everything I touched, so I decided to listen to a podcast and paint this wall that needs painting. That's the most idiot-proof progress I can make here.
You're not wrong, man. Trying. You're not wrong for showing up on that date and wanting to date.
I have 1.5 days to my departure, and I am just now starting to screw parts of the bench seat together. I don't think I'm gonna finish the whole thing, but I would love to at least connect all the parts I've prepared until now, so I'm not confused 11 days later when I come back. This seems to be totally crooked. measure the length of the wood needed for a round corner, so it ends here. I have no idea how to do it mathematically, so I'm doing it visually. This is the first time I'm working with wiggle wood, so I'm always expecting it to crack, but it's great. It holds. And now to the round part. To make it nicer, in the end I routed a section here in the width of this wiggle wood to make it nice and flush. You may be wondering why we chose a different type of wood for this round corner, and the reason is simple. It was the only wiggle wood available. So it's ceiba. I believe it's the same word in English. And it's a very beautiful wood. Unfortunately, there is not going to be anywhere else. But I will think about something so it looks intentionally. Check this out. I'm not only imitating it, but I'm sitting on my own chair. One of the main reasons for us going this way and building our own bench instead of installing some pre-made car seats or bus seats as we did previously is that in the previous one we missed so much a comfortable seating where we could rest properly. It was alright for traveling, but for like chilling, it wasn't that comfortable. And that's why we are building now this one. We tried to pay much attention to the angle of the backrest, to the width, to make it as wide as possible. And we are also going to pay attention to the upholstery to be super comfortable, because yeah, that was the main thing we were missing in the previous van. And whenever we were in some Airbnb or something, we were spending most of the time on the couch because we really missed it in our space. Yeah, I believe it is going to be great. But I have to finish it first, so let's go. As I mentioned earlier, I made it more complicated for myself because I have decided to make 2 drawers in here to be part of Neil's closet, and this wall is not right angle, so it's not gonna be that simple, and each of them is going to be different sizes. This is going to make me even slower. Also I am going to be drawers with wooden slides instead of hardware, because the hardware is so heavy and we can't afford it. I don't think you would expect that I know how to do it at this point. So it is my first time doing this. Because this whole thing is not even close to be square, I realized the best way how to do it is to attach this front desk in place, so I'll make the drawer in the right shape. And this is where I have to wrap it up. It's getting late. I have to clean some mess in the shop before I leave, and I also have to do the last training here. But this is it. It's semi-functional. None of these desks is attached. Today I made these 2 bottomless drawers in a space that's not square in any dimension, which I think is a success. They are not attached, but they are. So I have something to start with when I come back to warm up again and get into the workflow. I'm super happy that I made this round corner. It was a scary part. I'm looking forward to finishing it. It's gonna take 2 or 3 more days without the upholstery, of course. So yeah, I guess this was the part 1 of this building adventure. Stay tuned for the next one.